Welcome back to the show, everybody. Everything runs on the XRP Ledger. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.31 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 0.9%. Bitcoin 34,100 plus, 1795, and Ethereum as it slips just a bit here under the 1800 mark. Tether market cap 84.5 billion plus right now. XRP is 55 cents, slipping 1.3 in the 24-hour, up 7.1 on the 7-day. Let's get into this. The range right now is between 54 and 56 cents. We have just a few days until the close of the month. If we can stay at this level or above, technical analysts are saying it is very bullish for XRP. So we're very excited about that. And I want to encourage all of you to join us in the Freedom Zone. We are talking today about dystopian nightmare, Orwellian society. Big Brother is watching you. I'm going to prove it. This is a very real conversation going on inside here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm asking all of you to join me for less than a cup of coffee. Price for a cup of coffee per month. Just join us in here. You will see why. Zero Google ads. All my videos from the YouTube channel posted in here with zero Google ads. You get to comment, no bots, no scammers. We get a real conversation going on in here, and I get to see all of your thoughts. And I'm going to start highlighting them too, like I did yesterday. But you can go here, digperspectives.com, and sign up by clicking that button, or join us in the DPMG as well and get even more benefits. So we'll see you there. Click the link below. PetroChina completes first international crude oil trade in digital yuan by buying 1 million barrels of crude oil settled in the digital yuan. What we don't know, and I asked this in the first video, we do not know if this is in fact being done on the XRP Ledger. It was suggested by someone on X that it was being done on the XRP Ledger. I do not have knowledge of that. I'm asking collectively if anybody does, if you could share a connection for that. Otherwise, what we are seeing, however, is we are seeing the digital yuan, whether it be digital or paper, another currency other than oil, being traded for oil and not using the US dollar, right? That's what we're seeing here. We know that Saudi Arabia has begun doing that with through the Shanghai exchange as well. So with that being said, let's talk about this. This is Carlo right here, head of the Digital Dollar Project, former CFTC commissioner, and so many other great things. But you know what? A brilliant mind is what stands out to me when I hear him talk. And I want you to hear him talk about technology and listen to what this sounds like to the moment we're in right now.
It talks about tokens. I don't know if people spend much time thinking about this. So what are we talking about here? What is Bitcoin? What is Ethereum? What are these other Solana, Cardano, these other tokens you've heard about? The way I think about it is they're not very different than HTML, Bluetooth, STMP, other protocols that allow us to use the internet to communicate. They're protocols that allow us to use the internet to do different things, to record where value is and who's transferring value to who. And they all have different properties. Bitcoin has some unique features: program scarcity, anonymity. Ethereum has other features. It's highly programmable. It's used with a lot of smart contracts. It's like an OS, an operating system for value on the internet. Every token relates to a different design of a distributed ledger technology to record value on either a public or a private internet. So they all have, when people come to me and said, I've heard about this great new token, what do you think? And I say, well, I haven't heard about it, but if there's any value, the value's in its network, and what does that network do? The two that have so far stood the test of time quite well is Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're well over 50% of the marketplace. Yes, there are thousands of cryptos out there, but most of those thousands are tiny percents of what's in circulation. So I would say that once again, the scandal of FTX is not implicitly proving somehow that there's no value in Bitcoin, that there's no value in Ethereum. When people trade them, they're effectively trading the future of that network. Imagine if you owned or had a portion of Bluetooth technology. How valuable would that be to you? How about if you had a piece of HTML or the protocol that makes the, email work, STMP? How valuable would that be? That's when you own Bitcoin. And so I think what's happened is the success of owning those instruments have led a lot of fraudsters to come up with tokens that have no underlying value, have sizzle, Dogecoins, and the other that have meme value in the same way that owning some new baseball card might have value for a short period of time, but they have no underlying value.
And there you have it. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard me give those same analogies right here on this channel. Imagine owning a token that represented the value and the utility and volume of simple mail translation protocol for all emails, or HTML, right? Or HTTP for all websites. That's what they forgot to do in the birth of the internet, is to create a token that represents the value of all of the volume of activity happening on the ledger. I've even gone as far as to say, is I'm waiting for someone to create a paper tradable market, digital tradable market, if you will, on those protocols based on volume. Because you could really just go long and short on the volume of it and have an entire market that you're trading. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're moving towards. And yes, Bitcoin and Ethereum do have the majority of the market share of crypto at the moment. And truth be told, the issue I have with Ethereum is how it was launched, right? And the free pass that it has gotten, and the token assembly line that was created from that free pass. But the reality is Ethereum has way more functionality, even at its level of development, than Bitcoin does per se, right? It doesn't mean that it doesn't have hurdles. We've heard Joseph Lubin and Vitalik Buterin both say that it is not scalable in its current state. So there are issues that it will run up against at some point. That's why the layer 2s are trying to create situations on top of the Ethereum layer that can eliminate a lot of those hurdles as well. So, but we also have XRP. Now we know that from this, and I'll give you just a very clip at the front and the clip at the back here. This is the SEC meeting back in February of 22, agreeing and voting on getting to T+1, T+0 settlement time, indeed using such technologies as distributed ledger technology. Take a quick listen.
The ever-increasing pace of advancements in technology, including distributed ledger technology, further shortening the standard settlement cycle in the near future may be both desirable and feasible. Indeed, some such efforts are already underway.
Already underway. Now let's listen to the vote.
Settlement. How did commissioners vote on the division's recommendations to amend the Securities Exchange Act on clearing and settling?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, the recommendation is approved unanimously.
And there you have it. That's the SEC saying, yes, we agree that we're going to move forward and revamp the infrastructure for settlement of securities and derivatives, which, by the way, Ripple joins months later in August, right? They join ISDA, the International Swaps and Derivatives Association, for which the DTCC is a part of. And then the DTCC comes out and tells all of us, let me find that very quickly here, because I have it here. The DTC comes out, just tells us a few days ago that they have acquired Securrency, and Securrency tells us that the protocols can be utilized along with Ripple, Stellar. You get the drill, right? This is what we're watching happen here. The mistake I think a lot of people make is they get into a place where they start to think to themselves, okay, well, I've created this watermark for myself, and if it doesn't happen by the time the judgment of the case comes, if it doesn't happen and price doesn't move when FedNow goes live, if it doesn't happen when ISO 20022 goes live, if it doesn't happen when they announce that they join ISDA, if it does, But meanwhile, you're bypassing all of this amazing news, this fundamental news that is developing, that is showing you ultimately where we're going on the map. But people get stuck that if they don't see some kind of price action based on one of those events or the cumulative effect of those events by some time that they've perceived, then they get discouraged. Look, and I'm not trying to talk anybody out of anything. I'm just trying to discuss an awareness that we should all be aware of, right? So just, it's a chance for us to reevaluate our mindset. Think about what's happening. Think about this. This one flipped a chain right here. This is Anchal Maltora, I believe. And excuse me if I've messed your name up. I certainly don't mean to. Research head at Ripple. XRP-Ledger is perfect blockchain for central limit order book. DEX because the transaction fee is almost zero. Flip the Chain says this means the entire NASDAQ S&P can be moved to the XRP Ledger by tokenizing stocks. Then you think about the acquisition of Medico. Quite strategic it is indeed, right? Providing custody for the largest clients. Recent Citigroup collaboration with Medico. Think about that tie. Think about Sologenic and the DEX built on the XRP Ledger. Tokenizing stocks already, and that's out of Abu Dhabi, right? And then recently, Hong Kong Monetary Authority selected Ripple to participate in the pilot project with their digital Hong Kong dollar, right? This is what's happening here. The automated market maker introduction here, to tighten the price range or tighten the spread on the XRP price by eliminating slippage and satisfying the arbitrageurs and squeezing them out, right? And then paying those as reward fees to the people who participate in automated market maker liquidity pools. This is what's coming, ladies and gentlemen. Understanding that 6 Canadian banks collaborated to achieve a huge milestone in payments. They're first to conduct a live fire exercise on a systemically important payment system known as Lynx, which is critical infrastructure, Lynx software created by Valente Technologies. Take a quick listen to this.
So what? Who cares? What's the big deal about that?
Tell us.
Next slide, please.
Yeah.
Well, first off, to have Payments Canada, our regulator, and all 6 of the big banks to actually play nice and collaborate with one another, well, that's a feat unto itself. But honestly, this exercise represents a huge milestone in the resiliency of the wholesale payment systems program. And Deepak's going to tell us a little bit more about that program in a bit.
Huge milestone in the wholesale payment zone, right? Or payment system, however you said it. But the wholesale.
But really, this exercise marked the first time, to our knowledge, that anybody has really conducted a live fire exercise on a systemically important payment system.
There you have it. But where's that payment system coming from, ladies and gentlemen? Right? Canadian payment system modernizing VolPay, Swift, GPI, Ripple. It's full swing. Lynx is the next generation of high-value wire payments processing. We're smack dab in the middle of this thing. We're smack dab in the middle of this thing. VolPay, Ripple Processor Module Speeds integration to Ripple Global Settlement Network. To the Ripple Global Settlement Network. Does that help? It helps me on days like today. It really does help me. Or maybe even comments like this from Marcus Treacher at his time, formerly from Swift. And then he talks about, it could be regarded as trailing rival projects such as Ripple's Interledger, is what the article was saying. And then Marcus Treacher, global head of strategic accounts at Ripple at the time, is not there anymore. Swift is acting like a classic incumbent, adopting an incremental change approach to DLT, adding for them, it's all about the timing of the switch towards a newer connectivity and tech model. Yeah, they better be figuring something out, right? Because we know, as we said, think about what the SEC voted on last February. Then think about everything that's happened since. It looks like Ripple is preparing by joining ISDA. DTC is buying security to be able to begin to utilize these networks here, Ethereum, Stellar, Ripple, EOS, and other distributed ledgers for settlement of digital security tokens, the movement of on and off chain movement of tokens. It's right there, right? This is what they're telling us. And then don't forget, back in 2015, because that's when plans really start. They didn't start this yesterday. This has been going on for years. That's why Ripple Labs had Donald Donahue from the DTCC, the former CEO, become an advisor in 2015. Because this is chess, not checkers. How high could the price go? Ex-ETH advisor agrees XRP could surpass $100 as it has no ceiling. When we get into this, it was based off of this thread that started with the SEC chair. Gary Gensler says that the SEC has 8 to 10 filings on Bitcoin ETFs in front of the commission. Yeah, we know that. And what will happen? Well, it's BlackRock. They're probably going to get their way. Then we see this after the post through here. We have this from Stephen Narioff here. Shout out to you, Stephen. The pursuit of justice often requires patience and persistence. Yes, it does. Selective Detective here says, do you think XRP has a bright future? And by bright future, I mean, can it get above $10, possibly up to $100? I'd take your opinion on this over anyone's currently. Stephen answers very candidly here and says, I believe XRP has no ceiling if they achieve their objectives. It's not a simple response, but I'll give you a high-level take. Usually, a lower XRP price would make their offering more attractive. However, Ripple is clearly the odds-on favorite to win in a network effects model. Once this is achieved, XRP must be, and at the point, I don't see a ceiling on the price. Look at the US dollar, which has network effects and is the standard that must be used in countless instances. There is clearly no ceiling on the price of the dollar as it gets massively depreciated, but price becomes irrelevant. Listen very carefully where he goes here. Overshadowed by its required necessity. Come to think of it, could XRP take the reserve currency role in part or whole? Interesting concept. Wonder if that had anything to do with Ripple being viciously and unfairly targeted. Probably just a conspiracy theory that so many powerful entities would go to such lengths to unjustly do everything they can to slow Bragg Garlinghouse and company down, as they knew they couldn't be caught with their favored alternatives. Note that I don't own XRP or Ether right now, so nobody can say I'm doing this for any ulterior motives other than justice and radical change to a more fair, transparent system. That's where we are on this day, ladies and gentlemen. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. XRP has no ceiling, and it looks like everything runs on the ledger, the way I used to say it before I even had a YouTube channel and even in the early days. And when I say everything runs on the XRP ledger, I don't mean all the pennies in your couch cushion. What I mean is all the pairings of everything that is tokenized of value, having a pairing and a place to live on the decentralized exchange, the XRPL. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.